Have you been asked a question like this? If your mother and wife are drowning in the water at the same time, whom would you save first? Hard to choose, right? You may laugh it away as it is just nonsense. Or you may think seriously of making a choice and think further what difference it might make. In ancient China, Yongji was confronted with a similar dilemma. Whom do I save? My husband or my father? Her story is recorded in 左传. Yongji's father Zhai Zhong was a prime minister of Zheng, who has monopolized power for a while. This made his lord, the king of Zheng, very angry. The king ordered Yongji's husband to kill her father. Yongji was aware of the plot, but will she tell her father? She felt puzzled. Who would not? Struggling for an answer, she went to her mother for advice. Which is dearer, a father or a husband, she asked. Her mother replied, all men are potential husbands, but you have only one father. How could there be any comparison? Now you can guess what Yongji did. Yes, she went to tell her father. What happened next? The father was saved, but the husband was killed by his father-in-law. We cannot help but ask why. Is she doing the right thing? Well, from a cultural perspective, Yongji is just doing what her daughter should do. If not, she will be condemned for failing to be a daughter of filial piety, or not xiao. What is xiao? In Chinese writing system, the character of xiao is like this. Taking their character apart, you will find two radicals. The one on top means the elder, usually parents. What is below refers to children. So xiao is about relationship between generations. But which side does it require xiao? Yes, children. Xiao requires children to be obedient to parents and bear lifelong obligation to them. But why should they? The basic ideas are laid out in the first chapter of the classic book of Xiao. The beginning of Xiao lies in the fact that the body, hair, and skin are received from their parents. This is also the moral basis of Xiao. The end of Xiao is to glorify one's parents and ancestors. But how? By doing the right thing and leaving a good name. Therefore, teachings of Xiao are abundant. Classic books are compiled to teach the fundamentals of Xiao, and stories of Xiao are told for people to follow the role models. So Chinese idea of Xiao is to honor parents on a very fundamental level. Xiao is a top one virtue in China. This is written in classic books. Xiao is the basis of virtue. Its colloquial expression is Xiao is a primary virtue of 100 kinds. Xiao is even taken as the most central of all Chinese virtues, such as empathy, trustworthiness, courage, etc. Xiao is also a lifelong obligation of children to parents. In Guo Jujin's 24 filial exemplars, example 7 told a story about a grown son playing like a child just to amuse his parents. The son, Lao Laizi, was 70 years old. His parents, in their 90s, were depressed at how old they were. So he dressed up as a child and pranced around, pretending to be still a kid. Sure, his parents were happy and thought that if their son was still so young, they could not be very old. Xiao shapes a family as a central model for all social relationships. As children should respond respectfully to parents, so should wives to husbands, younger to older siblings, ministers to rulers, and so by implication should all subordinates to those superiors to whom they owe deference. For example, the obligations of Xiao to parents as life givers transfer to Zhong as allegiance to emperor as father figure. Back to Yongji's case. Now it is not difficult to understand why it is morally right for Yongji to make such a choice. In Chinese traditional or patriarchal families, Xiao is a value that regulates people's behavior and prioritizes a lifelong obligation of children to parents. The relationship between husband and wife comes only secondary. In the West, Apart from an earthly father, there is a heavenly Father, God the Creator. In terms of family, then, Christians are taught that they own their existence and therefore their gratitude to a heavenly Father. As for the earthly father, in the Hebrew 10 Commandments, God said, "Honor your father and mother," but this only ranks number 5 among the 10. The first 4 are all about obedience and respect to God, the Heavenly Father. Moreover, compared with Chinese emphasis on xiao, the Western respect for parents is never developed to the same extent. The honor does not readily transfer outside the family to relations in the larger world. Also, this respect is not expected to constitute a lifelong priority. Western children are understood to become independent adults at some point in their lives, typically no later than 21 years old. Or, as Bible says, a man should leave his parents and be united to his wife, because husband and wife are one flesh. Now, back to the dilemma. From a cultural perspective, can you make your choice now?
I would first choose to save my husband. With my husband, I can have kids and carry on my life very happily, and my father would want that for me.
I would probably save my mother first, because I only have one mother, and you could potentially get married again, although I'm not married, so it's very easy to say that I would rather save my mother than my wife, who I don't have. Also, my mother is most likely going to be older than my wife, so she will be less fit to swim and save herself, whereas my wife will hopefully be a strong swimmer, be able to get out. Yeah, but don't tell either my wife or my mother.
You're gonna say first.
I'm gonna say my wife. You know, she's just my wife, but she belongs to a family, and the family is gonna expect me to save my wife because
I got it.
swore an oath that till death do us part. So in that situation, I have a vow to keep.
Okay.
You know, and I'm gonna do whatever it takes to protect my wife.
Okay.
I prefer to choose my mom because this one talks about the love, intimacy between you, your wife, and your mom. My wife can love me based on something that I have.
Yeah.
Either my money, my property, or whatever, with my status. But for my mom, irrespective of whoever I will be, my mom still will love me.
Actually, I will say my mom first.
Tell me why.
The reason is very simple. I will not become myself without my mother. My mom gives birth to me, so I will serve her first.
I have to say my mother first.
Tell me why.
Because I think my mother is unreplaceable. My mother gives me life, and I should save her life.